It's
they're more laid
back
back.
and stuff.
Yeah, they're not.
But the
trying to-
actual writing doesn't.
not as fun, not as
I
agile.
But the fix.
I had a Harley for a week, a 1200 Sportster.
A week, 1200.
Yeah. No, because I was shooting a commercial,
Oh, okay,
and so
I
I
gotcha.
wanted to.
Learn it.
Yeah, because I went to the audition with mine, but they were like, "Oh, can you ride?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Of course.
Sure. My feet are on the ground, at least. That's the one thing that there is good about a Harley. So,
right.
But I wanted to get used to it and get comfortable on it, and so I rented that.
Yeah.
It was just.
Well, they're not off. They're not going to go that fast.
No, and
the cornering is like I got a Victory Judge, which was a nice bike. It was fast, but I mean cornering. It was the pegs were dragging, shit like that. Which
And it scared me a couple of times. Like, gee, why?
It'll.
I'm not even.
Yeah.
It's too much. I don't like. I felt very vulnerable, and it's a weird thing for me because the reason I like Bruce so much is because I'm hugging him when I'm riding. I'm like, oh,
Security.
we make one.
Yeah.
And I'm close to. I'm not close to the ground, but I'm closer. I'm not all exposed like this. And when I was riding the 1200, I was like, first of all, it was too big for me. I could barely touch the pedals.
Yeah.
I'm too tiny. I'm 5'3", and this whole thing. I look like an idiot, and I didn't feel safe. Everything was exposed. I just didn't like the way it was feeling.
The way it moves, even in corners.
And it was my calves were burning. It burned my boots
Yeah.
because it's so hot.
pipes
and
are
so
hot, yeah.
heavy. I'm like, "Bleh." Getting it off it's lower than mine, and yet getting it off the stand was a fucking work. I'm like, too much. Just not.
Right.
I like Bruce better. And then I got on Bruce. I'm like, oh. See, that's much
There
better.
you are.
Well, you lean on Bruce and it goes where you want it to.
Yes.
You have to do a little more work with those cruisers to get them
You
to turn.
do.
It's just the way that they are.
Yeah.
So back to this. What now of the three that we've discussed: acting, producing, stunt driving. Which excites you more, and how kind of are they merged together?
So, funny that you mention that because everybody in each industry is trying to get me to give up the other ones, right?
Oh, interesting.
Just because, they all say, jack of all trades, master of none.
I've heard that
Specialty shit.
I've heard that of myself.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, cool. I never claimed to be a specialist or a pro at anything. But to me, these three, first of all, I'm not giving it up, so fuck that. None of it, because I need every single one of them complement the other to me. The acting works with the producing, or at least the producing works with the acting. I'm giving myself parts, so that's great. The stunt driving, I am super freaking grateful for all the opportunities that I have had to be on sets that I would have never been able to be, whether it be acting or even producing,
Right.
or at least not for the next 10 years maybe, because you don't get to the studio level. Bright was $100 million. Once upon a time, sets like these, you
Right.
don't get to be on. And even when you're acting, even at a certain level, most of the time it's second unit, so you don't even get there. You have a stunt double, the actor is not there, and he doesn't see the action, they don't get to set. You don't see all the fun, and you don't have a radio when you're acting. You don't hear the shit that's happening.
So
The
you're
director
seeing it
talking-
from a
Yeah.
whole other place
Yeah.
that you would not normally get to see.
And believe it or not, stunts are working with my producing. Because I get to be behind the scenes, and I'm not that kind of person who's just going to sit back, relax, and drink coffee on set. I'm talking to everybody. I'm asking a shitload of questions.
Yeah.
I'm so curious and go into the DP and be like, so what's the...
Yeah.
I'm trying to know about every single aspect. And I'm seeing productions and how sometimes they fuck up. I'm like, I wouldn't have done that. Little things. Like we started, I think, an hour and a half or 2 hours late on 911. That was hundreds of thousands of dollars just
Yeah.
Whoa,
because
yeah.
one piece of information had to go all the way up. And it took them forever to get a hold of whoever
All
was
the
in
way back
charge.
down.
And so we're all like sitting there waiting and money just going out the window. So they have it, it's
Right.
fine. But as a producer, I was like, oh my God, I would kill somebody right now. But I'm learning the chain of command, where on bigger sets, what things, who does what and why is there, that person doesn't want to help that person because it's not their responsibility, because there's a reason for everything.
Right,
and so I'm learning, I'm getting wiser, and I'm understanding more. And the fact that I have a radio, I'm listening in to conversation.
Yeah.
I'm switching. Don't tell anyone or everyone. I'm
No one-
switching.
Everyone just signed an NDA. Just now, you
Yeah,
just did, whether
yeah.
you know it or not.
Yeah. They're like, okay, you're on 12 for like stunt channel. Cool. I'm going on 1 because I want to listen to the shit. And I might be missing out on stuff that's
Right.
happening on 12. But when I know it's quiet for a second, I go back. I'm like,
Yeah.
listening to Tarantino, whoever is talking
Sure.
to somebody. I'm
Cool
not going to
That's
miss out
amazing.
on that.
Yeah.
Right.
I
That's
just want to
amazing.
listen in. So, yeah. And then the first ADs and the way they talk. And sometimes they don't press the button all the way. So fun fact.
Yes.
My name is Cecile for everybody around. Cecile.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Cecil, Cecily,
Cecily.
Cecil, Cece, Sil. I got called everything under the moon on set. They don't know how to spell it. They don't know how to tell it. They don't. So I am always confused.
Yeah.
Most of the time, and sometimes people don't know how to, when they're using the little thingy, they don't press it all the way when they start talking. So
Yeah.
you only get the last half of the word.
Seal.
And sometimes,
Cecil.
sometimes I hear, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I guess it's for me. I'm like, copy that. No fucking idea. It's so confusing
Right.
and so stressful because I don't know if they're talking to me or not. And sometimes like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that was supposed to be Cecilia, which is another one of my nicknames. But the has nothing to do with my name. But I got to guess.
Yeah,
Cecile.
yeah.
Take a wild
That
guess.
is hilarious.
So that's another challenging part of being on a set with a radio with a
Right.
foreign name. It just doesn't go well most of the time.
It's not that hard. I mean, it's pretty easy to. I mean, I saw it in Cecile. You could see it's Cecile, but I get it. People
Cecil a lot. I get Cecil a lot.
Cecil.
Although I'm not a dude, I
Yeah,
get Cecil a lot.
Cecil.
Well,
All right.
I'm fine with Cecilia. That's no problem. I'm Spanish. I was supposed to be named that anyway, so that's fine. But the rest makes me cringe.
That's hilarious.
But I gotta
Caressing
respond
you.
to it. Oh yeah, I gotta respond to it every time. But
Right.
it's difficult. Sometimes I don't know if they're talking to me or somebody else.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I like to ask, in filmmaking and in anything really, even in stunt driving, just hearing the process that you went through, 4 years of doing it and actually being assisting and all this stuff. The question is this: what is your why? What keeps you inspired to do this, to be in film and make film and be a creative person?
I can't have it any other way. That's the only. I don't know how it would be. I don't see myself doing anything else.
Right.
I've been wanting to make movies, and not just for the fuck of making movies. I got a lot of things to say.